Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order! Oh! Ho!
Please be seated. Thank you. Good morning, friends. My name is Zane Jones. I'm the City of Columbus Veterans Services Coordinator, and again, I'm very happy to have you all here today. I want to thank you for coming to the Columbus Veterans Employee Appreciation Lunch. This annual lunch is our opportunity to recognize you as veterans and come together to share a meal. All right, that is the housekeeping. So I've been at the city for a little over a year representing all of you and the veterans who have chosen the City of Columbus as their employer of choice, and it's very humbling. And I'm blessed a lot to meet with different veteran service organizations and brag about you. And so I'd like to take a quick moment to tell all of you the different things about you that I brag to the VA and to Save a Warrior and Team RWB when I talk to them about you. So the first is that you're devoted to a life of service, all right? At one point, everybody sitting here sharing a meal took it upon themselves to raise their right hand and join the armed forces. And whether you did it for 4 years or 24 years, that service defined probably the early part of your life. And then whenever you separated from that service, as we all eventually have to do, you made the conscious decision to go ahead and join the City of Columbus and make service the hallmark of your life. So I want to say, first off, that I'm greatly appreciative for all of you for that. And it means a lot to me, it means a lot to everybody who works for the city, everyone who leads the city, and the people who benefit from the hard work that you put in every single day. Second, I say that there are a lot of you. Every time I talk with a veteran service organization, the number one thing they say is, where are all the veterans? We can't find veterans. You know why you can't find veterans and they're hard to find? Does anybody have a guess? Front row? They're busy. They got stuff going on. They're busy. They're hard to find. Well, we have 900 veterans at the City of Columbus. We got a bunch of you right here. Y'all, raise your hand if you know a veteran who isn't here right now. Yeah, get the word out, all right? Get the word out. So that's the second thing. There are a lot of you. That's 10% of our workforce. Other than the Ohio National Guard, I don't know if there are that many employers that can boast that. 10%, that's something else. Third, the majority of you were in the Army. Can I hear it from all the Army folks in the room? Second, we're in the Marine Corps, God help us. I say that as a proud Marine. The United States Navy. Yep. Come on. There's nothing wrong with the Sea Service. God. Air Force? And then the Coast Guard. Not one Coast Guard. Come on. All right. Fourth, I tell them, thank God, most of you are enlisted, not officers like myself. Do we have any officers in the room? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're enlisted. Look around. That's right. That's why we get things done. We'll talk later, sir. And then and then finally, you all still deploy. Do we have any reservists in the room? Okay. Around 192 employees at the city are reservists, myself included, and they deploy every year. All right, I don't have the exact numbers, but every year they deploy. Did anybody return home from a deployment? So raise your hand if you're a reservist. High. And put it down if you deployed this year in the last 24 months. We have employees right now who are in Germany, Africa, all over CENTCOM. Some of them are deployed CONUS, right, doing the good work to keep the reserve units running, and we've crafted a policy that supports them, and we're very, very proud of it. So sometimes when I talk about y'all, people start saying stuff about us back to us, which is kind of fun because I feel like they're doing my job for me. And I couldn't say this until today, but right now in Washington, D.C., at a ceremony at the Department of Labor, the City of Columbus is being honored with the Hire Vets Gold Award for veteran employment, recruitment, and retention. So right now, somewhere, not here, they're handing out awards, and we competed against other employers to win that award. So I think it says a lot about the city. I think it says a lot about the people who come and want to be at the city. It's the first year that they've had the award, and I chose to be here, not there, because I heard that Tom Krause is going to play the guitar later, and I don't want to miss that. All right, so it's a big deal. We were selected because of our ability to attract, hire, and retain veterans against numerous other employers, so it's a proud moment. So if you wouldn't just give the city a round of applause real quick. All right, so enough about us for a moment. As previously mentioned, we're lucky enough to have a lot of organizations here, and it's my hope that each and every one of you connected with them as they went through. But just in case you ran for the pizza line and not the VSO line, I'm going to ask each of them to come up and give a quick 1-minute spiel, introduce who they are, what they do, and then they are going to be here briefly after this as you guys exit to come in and introduce. We have a lot of good VSOs. And so for those of you who don't know, if you're a veteran and you live in Central Ohio, there are over 300 programs available for you. Almost too many to even make sense of. And 158 different organizations, and those are just ones we could find. And new ones are coming up every day. So there's a lot of opportunity, and these are the ones that are doing the best work, and so we invited them to come on out. So if you guys wouldn't mind, stand up, come up and introduce yourselves. I appreciate it. And y'all, please stand and give them a hand as they walk up. So most of these people are not full-time employees, they're volunteers, all right? They take it out of their time to come here and connect with veterans because just as service is a hallmark of their life, it's a hallmark, or your life, it's a hallmark of theirs as well. So first up is Heather, and just come on up, like the Usual Suspects movie.
Hello, my name is Heather Seymour, and I work at the Columbus VA. I'm the Creative Arts Coordinator, and I am here offering and inviting and begging you all to please come and tell everyone about our Columbus's Veterans Film and Arts Festival. It is the first Veterans Arts Festival in all of the Midwest, we think. We've done our research and we can't find anything else. It's free. It's free for veterans, it's free for families, it's free for civilians. So really the goal here is to bridge that civilian and military divide, and I really need you all to share that this event is going on, because if we don't fill that room, we're not going to be able to continue this next year. So please tell your friends, tell your neighbors, and come. And if you can't come, get someone else to come in your step. All right? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ian Haynes. I'm with the Mission Continues. I'm an Air Force veteran, 10 years active duty, 3 years now in the Air National Guard. Loving every minute of my service. And I want to take a second and just thank everybody in this room for your service as well. You raised your right hand. You took the time to serve your country. And with the Mission Continues, what we really focus on doing is finding a way for you to continue to serve now that you're back home. We want to connect veterans back to the communities that they live in through community service and impact projects. So we've been in Columbus for about a year now. We're a national nonprofit organization that's been around for about 11 years. We're in 55 cities around the United States with our service platoons or our volunteer groups. But we also have some national programming as well. And those range from our Women's Veteran Leadership Summit, which the application period just opened for that. It's open until December 1st, to our mass deployments where we bring veterans from all over the United States together to a city to do a week's worth of impactful service in a community. And then we've also got our Service Leadership Corps, which is our leadership development program. If you're interested in hearing any more about any of those events, please come see me over at the table. Take a card. I'm happy to sit down and have a cup of coffee with anybody in the room and share some more information. Thank you.
I'm Robin Muskoff. I'm with Team Red, White, and Blue, and I'm a teacher by trade, so forgive the notes. But I am a civilian, but I am so pleased to be able to do what I do because I can serve those who served. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate being able to stand up here in front of you guys. But Team Red, White, and Blue was founded by Mike Irwin back in 2011. And he found his friends who were transitioning were having a rough time, a difficult time making the change. So he grabbed a couple of his friends and said, hey, let's go on a run. I know you know how to run. You were in the Army, so let's just go. And he found that that was therapeutic. And so his brainchild expanded and into a complete nonprofit. We are all veterans who help out with Team Red, White, and Blue. And our goal is to connect our veterans to the community through sport and social activity. That's our avenue for the connection. Once we have that connection, it becomes a family. So while we go out to coffees, while we swim, while we run, while we do our marathons carrying the flag, what it boils down to is connection. And so I know that even as a civilian, if I'm having issues or if I have questions, like for my dad who is a veteran, it's like, who do I go to? Who do I contact? I know someone in our organization will have that answer. We're references for each other, we're resources for each other, and we go out and support each other through trying new things, through running, through coffees. So in a nutshell, that's what we do. But our goal is definitely connection. It just happens to be that athletics, service, and just getting together is the way we do that. So I'll be over there if you just so happen to decide to sign up today. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Adam Carr, and I'm an executive director with a national nonprofit called Save a Warrior. And you guys might be wondering why I have a baseball in my hand. About 3 years ago, I became a part of this organization, and myself and the founder, Jake Clark, who is also a veteran, but he worked for the Secret Service for Ronald Reagan, and he was an FBI agent, would talk about how we wanted to have a think tank right here in Ohio to help solve the veteran and first responder suicide pandemic plaguing our country. And through the help of some generous donors and a lot of people in support along the way, I'm proud to announce that this past fall we cut the ribbon on our facility out in Newark, Ohio. We've been doing this for the past 6 years out in Malibu, and we put 670 people through our program. That's veterans and first responders. We partnered with the LAPD. We've had New York firefighters and police officers that were on response at 9/11 come through. We partnered with the Kyle family, so those of you familiar with American Sniper, both Mr. Kyle and Chris Kyle's brother Jeff came through our program. CNN's done a documentary called The War Comes Home by Soledad O'Brien on our program. That was 45 minutes. And recently we were the winners of the WebMD Health Hero Award and the VA Brain Trust Award at Harvard Medical School. We help veterans and first responders. That's our priority. And we do it in such a novel approach, almost like when you're present. You're never more present in your life than when you're playing a game, whether that's in sport or you're an artist with a guitar, but we do it in such a novel approach in that 5.5 days that we're able to be the catalyst that provides an experience that changes the very trajectory of a veteran or first responder's life. So if you know somebody that's suffering from post-traumatic stress, anxiety, depression, how many people in this room know somebody that's taken their life? By a show of hands. I want you guys to look around right now. It's over half of the room. If you know somebody struggling from this, please reach out. It is free to attend for a veteran or first responder, and we have the whole community rallying behind this and wanting to make this their own. So thank you so much for coming out today. God bless America.
Good afternoon, guys. I'm Chet. My brother and I founded millspin.com when we realized that as veterans ourselves, there were not many products that we could find to commemorate our own service that were not imported. And so we saw this tremendous opportunity to provide gifts from veterans to veterans. And as you know, with an engineering background, we bought some machines, we taught ourselves how to use them, and we just went on this absolute mission to create more skilled jobs for veterans, manufacturing products that are marketable to other veterans. And we're making it happen with your guys' help. So please visit our website. We've got something for you when you walk out the door to show you some of the quality that we can manufacture. But the main mission is to create skilled manufacturing jobs for fellow veterans, and we're making it happen. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Megan Lipscomb. I'm with the Franklin County Veteran Service Commission. The Veteran Service Commissions are actually located in all 88 counties, so this also applies if you're outside of Franklin County. So we assist with financial, that's rent, mortgage, utilities, food, things of that nature, based on emergency need, not income. We also help with service claims, that's intent to files, appeals, increases, things of that nature, getting you linked up with the advocate. So if you have any questions, please feel free to stop by the table over there. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Eddie Anjos. I'm the Chief of Patient Business Service at the Columbus VA. You saw our table over there. There was a lot of people thinking there was pizza, but it was not. The reason that I'm here is to make sure that when I get out of here, if you're not enrolled within the VA hospital, you bring your application. I do have some more application because I ran out. Make sure that you return this to us, and we're going to process you, make sure that you are within the system of the VA. It doesn't matter if you have insurance, it doesn't matter if you make $1 million, because you can lose that tomorrow, okay? So if you lose that tomorrow, the VA will be there to back you up if you have any medical issues. This year, it's about 10 years that the VA at James Road, it's commemorating 10 years. We start with about 13,000 veterans on the old location. We have already 42,000 veterans that we serve, meaning that I want to get more. I want to make sure that every veteran that is not enrolled is enrolled, because that is one of the things that we deserve when we get out of the service. We are there to help you. The VA is there to help you. Don't let nobody say that the VA is a bad place, because it's not. We are there to help every single veteran. Even if you don't like the VA, just give us a chance. We are there to prove that we are there to help you and make sure that you get the benefits that everybody's entitled to. Thank you so much.
My name is Stephanie Steve, and I represent Vet Motorsports. I'm also a veteran of 35 years in the Guard till they sent me over to the desert, so I got to play in the sand a little bit. With Vet Motorsports, we're a non-clinical, family-oriented outreach program, and we take wounded warriors or something, PTSD people, and we put them in a car and we put them on a track, and you pretty much kind of race against yourself. It kind of takes your mind off of things, I know, because when I first got in the car, I almost ran over all the cones. Of course, I tried to floor it and go as fast as I could, but it's more of a technique, and it gets your mind activated in other areas that besides your illness or your wounded area. And we have several areas throughout the U.S. and in Ohio, and we're umbrellaed underneath the Sports Car Club of America. So when they set up their van with all their racers and all that stuff. We just kind of blend in with them and take our guys, and we have their families. We put the families in the car as well. If you'd like to know more about schedules and stuff like that, you know, you can come see me at the table. I'm the very last one, and that's about it.
Please give them a round of applause again, and thank you all for coming out.
Thank you all. We couldn't be more proud of the day you do, or the work you do day in and day out for the citizens of Columbus. And obviously, this is our way at the city to thank you all for your service to our country. Thank you all for what you continue to do, and your council stands ready to be helpful to you in any capacity we can. And with that, I will turn it to our chair of the Veterans Committee, Mitchell Brown. We're back to I was told we're actually going by height. Next will be the city attorney, Zach Klein.
How y'all doing? It's so great to see everyone in this room, some friendly faces for sure. So I did not serve, but my grandfathers both did. Grandfather in the Korean War in the Navy, and a grandfather who was part of the Greatest Generation who served in World War II in the Battle of the Bulge. And if you know and you meet folks from the Greatest Generation, they're very quiet about their time in service overseas. And I would always, especially as a little kid, just being curious about service and about fighting in World War II. You learn it in school. You learn so much about the history about it. Would just try to prod at him, like, tell me about it. And he would always be so silent. He won a couple medals over there for his service and his heroism. He recently passed away. But the two things that he always told me about that time there was it was the coldest day of his life that he could ever remember. The absolute coldest. And the second is that he had his weapon and he would just close his eyes. And wherever he saw a flash of light in the distance, he would close his eyes and just pull the trigger and fire back at the flash of light that was firing at him. And I think about that regularly as we continue to hear about our current wars that are going on in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I'm proud of the work that the city has done, and Zane, that you have done through your office, to recognize the great commitment that veterans have to our community and to our city. But I think it goes without saying that as a country, we need to step it up and do a little bit more to help veterans. We've fallen short on that goal, and I'm proud that the city of Columbus is leading by example, but we've fallen short nationally. And I think that we can continue to advocate and make a difference for everyone in this room who is committed to public service by your time and commitment in the service, as well as your driven commitment to stay employed with the city as a public employer. That you are the face of not only the country and the sacrifice that we've given, but the faces of our city, whether they're first responders or utilities or rec and parks or public service, that you've all come together to represent all of us as the elected officials so well. So thank you for your service, and thank you for your commitment to the city of Columbus.
All right, at this time I'd like to welcome to the podium the Veterans Committee Chair, Councilmember Mitch Brown. Give him a round of applause.
First and foremost, to say thank you for all of you being here this afternoon. It's sort of ironic for me that this past Saturday, a young man who was served in the military, had served in Afghanistan, passed away. He overdosed. His mom, I knew her, she called me, and we talked about the circumstance, and the funeral will be this coming Saturday. It's very sad for me because I served a long, long time ago. Also present today is Councilmember Elizabeth Brown. I call her my cousin, and we sit together on City Council. Veterans Day, formerly known as Armistice Day, was originally set as a U.S. legal holiday to honor the end of World War I, which officially took place on November 11th, 1918. However, in 1954, the holiday was changed to Veterans Day, which gives us the opportunity to declare and to celebrate the bravery and the sacrifice of all U.S. veterans. Today, we're gathered to celebrate you, our outstanding city employees who have served and are still serving in the United States Armed Forces. On behalf of Mayor Andrew J. Ginther and my City Council colleagues, we wish to thank you for your patriotism and for your engagement in your work for the City of Columbus. We also acknowledge your love of country and your willingness to serve and to sacrifice for the common good. Because of you, we are able to enjoy the freedoms we have today. Our city embraces you because of the discipline, work ethic, and leadership you bring to the workplace. I want you to know how passionately I believe in service. I've been serving for a long, long time in a lot of different capacities, but none was more special than when I served in the Air Force. We would always say, why walk when you can fly? As an Air Force veteran, I appreciate the sacrifices of our active duty personnel and veterans. I'm committed to all who serve or who have served, and I want you to know that the city will be here for you. The City of Columbus stands united in respect for you. While I express my appreciation for your service, I would be remiss if I didn't also recognize and thank your families. We all know that those who serve do not serve alone. Please pass along my sentiments to your families, your friends, and your loved ones. On Monday, September 17th, Columbus City Council authorized the legislation to once again extend military leave benefits to the employees who are called to service. We want you to know that your families will not have to experience financial deficit while you serve our country. To the City of Columbus Veterans Committee, on behalf of Council President Shannon G. Hardin and all the members of Columbus City Council, thank you for all that you've done and continue to do to make this luncheon a reality. The veterans of the city are fortunate to have a committee of dedicated volunteers who are committed to our military, our veterans, and their families. I would also like to thank Zane Jones, Tina DeFluter. Tina's standing over there, and I will tell you, she stops me whenever she got an opportunity to do so to say, in her case, she'd always say, Director Brown, we need to do more. We got to make sure that we can get this luncheon put together. I said, don't worry about it, Tina. I'll make sure it happens. Tina, I keep my promises. And also, a thank you to Director Nikki Brandon and the entire City of Columbus Human Resource Department for their engagement and their service to our veterans. And to all of you, thank you and God bless.
So thank you very much for coming. Next year, we're going to have hopefully a bigger event. We'll have the Blue Angels, tank races, you name it, and dancing, right, Tom? Dancing. This concludes this year's event, and I look forward to seeing you guys throughout the year and next year for Veterans Day. Thanks. Thanks, sir. I appreciate it.